Hello, friends. A very warm welcome to this, the next of our midweek musings. And this week, I want to talk to you and reflect with you a little bit about language. And I've come to realize over the years that language means a great deal to me, the way that words fit together. And I come to realize that when words are put together in a particular way, sometimes a way that at least initially doesn't quite make sense, that kind of excites me. It kind of makes my heart beat a little faster as I try to wrestle with meaning. And I couldn't quite give you a scientific answer as to why that would be the case. But it's something about how sounds, how words, how meanings, how associations, how they bump along together, and they invoke in us a kind of response. Now, some of you may remember in Lent, all that time ago, when we managed to start our Lent courses. We had Ash Wednesday services. We started our Lent courses. I think we got 2 weeks in. I can't quite remember. But as I was sorting through some filing the other day, I came across my wallet filled with some of the poems of R.S. Thomas, a poet who uses language in a particular way that I shared with a small group of people on Wednesday mornings at the beginning of Lent. It was a valuable time for me, and I hope for those who were there. They spoke kindly and warmly of how they came to appreciate the language he used and the meaning he was bringing out from some of his poems that spoke to them in their lives. And what I thought I'd do this week, thinking about this theme of language, was to read one of them, because it seemed such a shame to just discard them. The hope was that we might have returned to them through Lent, but circumstances, Holy Week, Easter, all those other things that we needed to pay attention to came along to make it impossible. And I hope still, I suppose, at some point that we might return more substantively to the poetry of R.S. Thomas. But for now, I want to give you one of his poems called Abercawig. I hope I've pronounced it right. It may be Abercwig, but I'm no master of the Welsh language. But in this, I'll read it and then just reflect for a moment about a couple of the phrases that do what I said at the beginning about language, that make my heart beat a little faster. And in beating faster, I think we are pondering the most important things in life, and in fact pondering as a consequence something of God. So it's called Abercawig. Abercawig, where is it? Where is Abercawig, that place where the cuckoos sing? I asked the professors. Lo, here, lo, there. On the banks of a river, they explained how Cawig had become Dulas. There was the mansion Dol Gwog, not far off to confirm them. I looked at the surface of the water, but the place that I was seeking was not reflected therein. I looked as though through a clear window at pebbles, that there were the ruins of no building, with no birds tolling among them, as in the towers of the mind. An absence is how we become surer of what we want. Abercawig is not here now, but there. And there is the indefinable point, the incarnation of a concept, the moment at which little becomes a lot. I have listened to the word Branwen and pictured the horses and the soil red with their blood, and the trouble in Ireland, and have opened my eyes on a child sticky with sweets and snivel, and not this, I have cried. This is the name, not the thing that the name stands for. I have no faith that to put a name to a thing is to bring it before one. I am a seeker in time for that which is beyond time, that which is everywhere and nowhere, no more before than after, yet always about to be, whose duration is of the mind, but free, as Bergson would say, of the mind's degradation, of the eternal. Now, there's a lot there, and I may well have not done it justice in my reading, but you get a sense of Thomas's use of language, of how some things seem very strange to us, some things we need to know more about, some things we need to explore. And yet we also get arresting combinations of words. And these words, I think, speak of Thomas's faith, and I think speak to my own faith as a consequence. I see him in some ways as a fellow pilgrim, at least in how he used language. Let me just reread you one bit, and I'll leave you with the poem and hope that you might spend time rereading it and seeing how it speaks to you, just as we do sometimes with Scripture, but using this poem as a way to contemplate important things. Thomas writes, "I am a seeker in time for that which is beyond time, that which is everywhere and nowhere, no more before than after, yet always about to be." Hopefully words to reflect upon from this musing. Thank you for taking the time to be here. God bless you. It's really good to have spent this time with you. Hope to see you again next time.